Hey guys, this is Darman here, and I'm going to be playing some Mountain Blade Warband today. This is a pretty cool game. You're going to see what it is in a bit. It's kind of hard to explain for me because I am horrible at explaining things. You make a character to start off, of course, and you choose whether or not you kind of want to do a merchant type game. You want to play like a stereotypical everyone chooses male, because, well, most people don't want to get discriminated against in this, because it's in the Middle Ages. You were born years ago in a land far away. Your father was an impoverished noble, a traveling merchant, a veteran warrior, a hunter, a steppe nomad, or a thief. I see. These would work as if this was you are originally noble. You'll have some money to start off with, but not terribly much, because, of course, impoverished, you don't have very much. Traveling merchant, so you spent her time learning from your father, who ended up spending a lot of money working on building up a trade empire. That would help you if you plan on taking things from one city and selling them elsewhere. Veteran warrior, that's for fighting. I think I'm actually going to go for that because it's pretty fun killing things with a sword or something. Hunter, that's for like bows and arrows and then mounted accuracy. So when you're trying to shoot a bow and arrow or a crossbow off of the horse, it's going to work better if you have some skills you'd get from that. And then, of course, hunter, you're using bow and arrow way more often than other people. Like, say, a steppe nomad. They might, but not terribly much. Now, steppe nomad, of course, they're cavalry. They use horses all the time. Thief, steal things. Pretty simple. That's if you want to be doing sneaky little things. I think I'm going to go for veteran warrior. Now, as a child, your family scrabbled out a meager living from your father's wages as a guardsman to the local lord. It was not an easy existence, as you were too poor to get much of an education. You learned mainly how to defend yourself on the streets, with or without a weapon in hand. You started to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk. You spent your early life as, and then I can choose one of these, page at a nobleman's court. That would mean that I was in the hierarchies of the lords, ladies, things like that. I would get diplomacy kind of stuff. Craftsman's apprentice, that's making things. So likely that would be more trade. Inventory management. Shop assistant, inventory management, and trade again. Street urchin is more basing off of thief, and a stepchild is again the steppe. Nomad. I'm going to go for craftsman apprentice because I would also probably build up some strength because I'm thinking of a blacksmith. And as a boy, growing out of childhood, you apprenticed with a local craftsman to learn a trade. After years of hard work and study under your new master, he promoted you to journeyman and employed you as a fully paid craftsman for as long as you wished to stay. Then, as a young adult, life changed as it always does. You became, then there's another list of things you can do, squire, aka like a knight's apprentice kind of thing. Troubadour, that's like a minstrel or traveling singer you would think of. They go out and perform for people to make money. A university student, that's pretty obvious. A goods peddler, again, merchant. A smith, aka blacksmith, making things. Then a game poacher, aka you go out and hunt when you aren't supposed to, hunting the king's game. I'm going for squire because I'm going for a major combat game. Then, of course, though this distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. When you were named squire to a noble at court, you practiced long hours with weapons, learning how to deal out hard knocks and how to take them too. You were instructed in your obligations to your lord and of your duties to those who might one day be your vassals. But in addition to learning the chivalric ideal, you also learned about the less uplifting side, old warriors' stories of ruthless power politics, of betrayals and usurpations, of men who used guile as well as valor to achieve their aims. But soon everything changed and you decided to strike out on your own as an adventurer. What made you take this decision was, and you choose something for roleplay purposes. Now, I'm playing a character who is likely going to have been forced out of his home, but it was because of a ridiculous reason. It was someone else took power that wasn't friendly to people, and they thought that he was a kind of pleb that they didn't want in the area and forced him away from his homeland. So, personal revenge. Only you know exactly what caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. Still, it was not a difficult choice to leave. With the rage burning brightly in your heart, you want vengeance. You want justice. What is done to you cannot be undone, and these debts can only be paid in blood. Then become an adventurer and ride to your destiny. And another thing is, in this, they allow you to go back to the last steps to change things if you don't like your turnout. Of course I'm going, and realistic, no quitting without saving, because I'm not save scumming. Now, we are going to be Aleixos the Renegade. You know, if I can spell it right. There. Renegade. If I get that wrong, please yell at me and then laugh at me. I want to be laughed at for screwing up that easily. Now, of course, we're going for strength and a little bit of agility so we can run. Get those weapon masters and going up for a bit. Now let's get these so we can start working on some of this. Yeah, so we've got some pretty good weapon skills. I'm going pole arms because they typically use a spear. I guess I like spears. I like the idea of poking someone from a long distance. It's just so good. Now, here is when you actually make your characters. Like, the looks of it. The last screen was making the skills, what you're going to do with your character. Now, I don't like this haircut, so let's choose one that looks a bit better. Not bad. I think I'll just use that. Then beards, of course. You always gotta have a beard. Beards are awesome. Oh, there we go. That seems pretty nice. Okay, yeah. That's me not holding on the score long enough. Yeah, that seems pretty good for a good character. Yeah. Alright. A little bit further down. Depth. Yeah, whatever. That seems like a pretty good one in my opinion. I'm just gonna go with him. He is Aleixos the Renegade. Now, Swati, this is just choosing which of the kingdoms you want to go to. So, I'm thinking I'm gonna go for... that's an interesting one. So, the map works in a way that you've got kingdoms around one big continent, which they call Calradia. You hear about Calradia, a land torn between rival kingdoms battling each other for supremacy, a haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit of fortune, power, or glory. In this land, which holds great dangers and even greater opportunities, you believe you may leave your past behind and start a new life. You feel that finally, you hold the key of your destiny in your hands, free to choose as you will, and that whatever course you take, great adventures will await you. Drawn by the stories you hear about Calradia and its kingdoms, then you choose which one of these you want to do. You can join a caravan to Praven, join a caravan to Ravedin, and first one Swati, second one the Kingdom of the Vagirs. Then you could go to a caravan to Tolga in the Kyrgyz Khanate, or you can take a ship to either Sargoth or Jelkala of either the Nords or the Rodoks, and then a caravan to Shariz, the capital of the Sarnid Sultanate. I think that just for the hell of it, I'm gonna go for the Sultanate. And you're exhausted. You are exhausted by the time you find the inn in Shariz and fall asleep quickly. However, you wake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end, the rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. So, we're getting attacked by the looks of things. Getting attacked is not going to be fun. I mean, it isn't exactly like someone would like getting attacked. You've got a shield, crossbow, bolts, and a sword. Yeah, try it, pal. Yeah, try again, pal. I want to see you try. Alright. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive, at any rate. I'm not sure that we can stay the same for the other fellow. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night. Although heaven knows he won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you can help me with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here, we don't know who's listening. The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while checking the street, and then finally, convinced you have not been followed, comes near you to speak. Well, looks like we're talking to a merchant. Merchant of Shariz. Yeah, that's such an original name game. Furs, barrels, wine. Now, let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills, driven to banditry by war, debt, or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town, looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers, fewer men to keep an eye on the streets, but I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that these bandits have an ally inside the walls, who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking. A lad from a prominent house, out alone after dark in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here and didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse. But he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You had a bit of experience with a blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly, or you wouldn't be coming to Colorado to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say? Well, this would mean we're going to a bandit cave, essentially, and we're going to have to take a bunch of bandits, and by myself, I'm not so sure that would be a good idea. No, it sounds like that would be a good amount of money if we're getting compensated for that reasonably well. Merchant, they'll probably have some money to pay us as well. Yeah, I'm gonna do it, just to kill things. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try and take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted, I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work. That's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you can pay. So, take this purse of 100 dinars, consider it an advance on your reward. Go round to the villagers and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Yeah, I agree with that, because this is going to be a whole bandit cave. Unless there's only like 3 of them, it's not going to be easy, because they're going to have a defensive advantage. Very good, sir. I'll go collect some men from around the villages. Good. You can find me again in a tavern here in Shires after you've got your group together. Then we'll speak about what we do next. Well, looks like we're off to go get some stuff. Stuff, and more stuff. And use tab to go places. So, this is the map. As I said, you've got a bunch of factions. Swadians, Rhodoks, the Sarnid Sultanate. This is Shires, where we are. It's a big city. Got a few villages, a few castles around it. For kingdoms, they work by having one king and then a bunch of lords that control different areas. A king will have probably one of the bigger cities, possibly the biggest. Most of the time it is the biggest. So say, over here we've got Praven. The king of Swadians actually owns that. That, and I think something else. Maybe not. I could just be joking with myself. Now, the funny thing about this game is, if you look here... No, wrong place. God. You go to reports. And character report, you have an honor rating and a renown rating. Renown is pretty much how much you're known for doing things that are incredible. Like, say, taking on single-handedly an army of 100. That would pretty much kill your renown rating, as in way up. No one would be able to touch that in one sitting. And honor is how honorable you are. So your word is honorable, that kind of thing. Ways you can get that, I don't know very many of them, but I know one of them is if you defeat a lord and you capture them, you let them go. That'll give you 1 honor. Maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. Friends, those are people you've got a higher relation with. Enemies, very low relation with, so like -30 on the bar. I think it's 50 in each direction. Then you can also read books, which give you stat increases. Takes a while to do, though. Then, you've got character renown and honor popping here as well, and then party morale and party size limit. Party size is influenced by a few things. Your base size is 30 because you can't have less than 30. Your leadership gives you some, and so does your charisma. Your leadership, I'm pretty sure it might be 5 per leadership point you get, and then each charisma is 1. Yeah, that makes sense. In fact, I can check that in a bit. And you've got faction relations, how much each faction likes you. Courtship, you can marry a lady in this, and that gives you right to rule, which is another thing. You can make kingdoms. Then known wards, I don't know any because I just got here. I don't know anyone except for that merchant. Party morale. This is what influences how high the morale of your party is. So your base is 50, it goes up and down from that. That would be average. So, say, leadership influences by quite a bit. So I'm not entirely sure what that translates over to on that. Then food variety, that's what food you have to feed them. Then recent events, as in winning battles or killing things that would normally outnumber you or something like that. And because of these bonuses, I'm driven up to 100. Exactly 100. 100 I'm pretty sure is the highest, so we're going to have excellent morale on anyone we get. And that changes based on certain things you get. Like, say, more people typically means less morale because you've got the money getting split, and it makes it less likely you'll be able to hold on to them. Now we're just going to go ahead and go over to a village and recruit some people, because one person out in here isn't going to do well. The village of Ain Asuwadi appears to be thriving. The palm groves and orchards are humming with activity. Farmers call to each other cheerfully from the tops of the trees, where they pollinate the date fruit. The creak of wooden pumps, the bellowing of draft animals, and the rush of flowing water speak of an irrigation system that is thriving under the village's attention. You remember that this village and the surrounding lands belong to Emir Ayem of Sarnid Sultanate. The populace is indifferent to you, as in they don't have any opinion of me, or very, very close to zero. You can change your opinion of cities and villages and castles by doing things for them. I'm pretty sure castles actually aren't on that list because they don't have very many civilians. Let's go and recruit people. One person! I kind of want to flip off this village because that's kind of a ridiculous number. Now, the more they like you, the more people will join you. If it's negative, I'm pretty sure it's almost always done. We got intercepted.
Nice and slow.
It's your money or your life, mate. No sudden moves or we'll run you through. I'm not afraid of you lot. Fight me if you dare. So, myself and my villager friend versus 7 of these guys. So, we can choose to charge the enemy with just both of us, pull back, leaving some soldiers to recover your retreat, as in we leave that other guy so that I can get away, which I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do. Then you can surrender. They just win. I'm not surrendering. I would never surrender. Never give up. Never surrender. Now, this guy is crap at combat, so we're going to need to do a lot of the killing. Got a sword, shield. Decent horse by the looks of things. And it's looters, I think, that attacked us. So we're probably not going to have to deal with any cap, which is good. Yes, looters, for sure, because most of them don't have shirts. No, they only have rocks as well. So there's 2. 3. Also, there's morale systems, which I'll cover in a bit. You've got a bunch of morale that you can get for you guys. Yeah, the morale system affects how well they'll fight and how long they'll stay in a battle if they're losing. So, this guy's morale just broke because looters have crap morale. Trying to cut this guy off. Literally cut him off from his head. Come on! There we go. That's all 7 killed, I think. Yep, all 7. This guy took a couple hits, but we routed him. Yeah, we gained 1 renown because we were outnumbered 7-2. It's 3.5 to 1. Now, we picked up some stuff, and you get certain stuff you can use. So this is where you see your gear. My horse, my battered shield, my rusty sword, my hunting crossbow, and bolts. This is all the weapons they have. Now, these guys drop some weapons. Point of these is to kill. Rusty swords, bolts, these are all sharp. They will kill you easy. This is blunt. This is meant to knock you out so you can be taken as prisoner and sold as a slave. Big thing in the slaves. I'm going to go ahead and take that because that's something on my head so that I'm not going to get killed by the first thing that hits me in the head. Then we just take everything else to sell somewhere. Because I'm not taking that even though it's got better body armor. It doesn't have any leg armor and I'm using a horse, which means the legs are more likely to get hit by infantry. Then head, that'll help me if I get hit in the head, but not very much. Leather. Her boots, not going to hold up very well, and then, of course, gauntlets are extremely expensive. Now, in a game, in the battles, everyone has a set morale based on their party morale. on what they actually get. Because also in party morale, when you're fighting a faction, if you have troops of that faction, so say if I attacked the Rodoks and I had Rodok troops, the Rodoks would be losing morale in my party. Whereas if I was a part of the Saronids, and then one of those lords had a Saronid Sultanate trooper, their Saronid stuff would lose morale because they're attacking the Saronids. Because fighting your own home doesn't exactly help your morale very much. Now we're going to go ahead and go here, get a couple more guys, hopefully. 4! There we go, that's a fairly decent number. That means we have 5 of them. Now, this is how you see what you have in your party. I have 5 Saronid recruits. This is the first level of troops you can get. You get these by going to villages, recruiting them, and if you're going to a village that's originally Saronid, so say Hawa and Ain Aswadi, these are originally Saronid stuff. All this stuff is originally Saronid, which means they're going to be giving me Saronid troops for the Saronid troop tree. If I were to then go over here and go to Jamik, I would get a Rodok recruit or Rodok tribesman, depending on what they have. Whatever. And they each have their own unique troop trees that you can train them up through, because right now recruits isn't exactly going to hold up very well in combat. So we're going to go ahead and head back here, sell some stuff, and then talk to the merchant, because we have our 5 guys. Burgers and fries. Yes, I did that, and I know most of you are going to be shaking your head right now, if anyone's watching. Who cares? No one's watching, I can almost guarantee that. Ooh, that's a nice lance. The problem is lance. Lances in this are interesting. You have to be moving pretty fast for that to do anything. And the reach is interesting as well. I typically hate these things. That's why I stay away from all the tournaments that happen way up north. So say, up in Praven, they do tournaments that is only lancing. It's jousts, essentially. And I hate it so much. So we've got our 5 guys. We sold the stuff for 21 denars. Let's just go talk to this guy. Let's tavern keeper, merchant, troubadour, Katrin. Katrin. Hello there, laddie. Have a drink on me. What's the occasion? Well, I managed to sell my wagon and horse, lad. For once, I've got money to spend, and I intend to make the best of it. For 30 years, I followed the armies of this land, selling them victuals and drink, watching their games of dice, and finding them girls, and nary a denar was left in my purse at the end. There's no kind of life victualling the armies. You earn a bit here and a bit there, as the soldiers spend their money, and then along comes one defeat, and you have to start over, indebting yourself to buy a new wagon and new oxen. So I've decided to get out of the business, but army life is all I know. What do you do now? Why, I'll be a soldier myself. Help my old hands to a bit of loot to comfort me in my retirement. 2 boys I bore, both soldiers' brats, and they became soldiers themselves. One had his head split by a Kurgat war club. The other died of the pox, but at least they didn't die hungry. I know how to swing a blade, staunch a wound, and feed an army on the march. It would be a foolish captain who passed up on the opportunity to hire an experienced campaigner like me. Say, laddie, don't you command a war party of your own now? No, it's a companion. Okay, in this, there are a series of different people who have their own backstory like this. They are companions. When you make your own kingdom, you can have them as your minister, and then you can give them land to become their own lords, but that decreases your right to rule, which makes it so everyone wants to declare on you more, and you can't declare peace. It's an endless cycle of war once you start doing that. So, now I've decided, do I want her? So it looks like she's going to have medic skills, able to fight somewhat, and then inventory management. That's feeding army into march. Not so sure about the last one, though. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take her just because I can... Oof, I don't think I want to spend that. That's 100 denars for someone, and I don't think I have that to spare. Look, you need more men. Right now you only have 5 in your party. If you attack them with too few men, you may find their hideout by getting yourself dragged up to it in fetters, and that's not the plan. Do not take that risk. Go out and find some more villages to find more volunteers, and then you can start paying them back in their own coin. Yeah, I can definitely say right now that you said 5 beforehand, so... Yeah, wonderful. We have to go find another village. Wonderful. Yeah, he said 5, he meant 6 or more. Why'd I do that? None is where we should be going. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and get another set of villagers, hopefully. 7! Yes! That's amazing. That's awesome. That means we have 12. That's really good. Okay, now if you don't accept it this time, I'm done with this quest. I'll abandon it and just go my own way. This is because at that point, that's completely ridiculous. Okay, visit the tavern again. Let's see if it works this time. Tavern keeper, blah blah blah, whatever. Catron again, troubadour. There's Shariz. There we go. We got the 5 men. Splendid work. You have hired enough men to take on the bandits. Now, travelers entering Shariz have told us that there is a small group of robbers lurking on the outside of town. I suspect that they are all from the same band, the one that took my brother. Hunt them down and defeat them, and make them disclose the location of their lair. Very well. I shall hunt for bandits. Time to kill some bandits, then. Hello there, you 4-person band of robbers. Let's completely destroy them with our numbers. Huh, those prisoners are only going free if you pay the ransom. Did you bring any silver? No, but I brought steel. And it's gonna be going right through your mouth. Come on, guys, let's kill these bastards. Yeah, battle advantage 3 because we outnumber them by so much, and that means our renown is zip. Well, I think I'm going the wrong way. Yes, I am. Very much the wrong way. But whatever, we can just say I was trying to do that so I could flank him when I attacked. Yep, they've already killed some. Looks like we killed them. Wounded 1, killed 3. Aye, spare me, spare my life. Let me go and I'll go far away from here and learn an honest trade. You'll never hear from me again. I'll spare your life, but in exchange I want information. Either you or your mates kidnapped the brother of a prominent merchant in town. Tell me where you're hiding him and give me your word that you'll stop troubling the people of these parts, and you can go free. Oh, bless you, sir, bless you. You've done the lad no harm. You've been keeping him in our hideout near Kylet. I'll describe the area nearby in detail, so there's no mistaking it. There we go. That was pretty good. I see, that doesn't have near enough reach to make it worth it. So, just take these, sell them later. Picked up some denars, and then we should know where to go. Yep, right there. Kidnapper side out. Let's try this. See how I do in an assault. Yep. Oh, looks like it's only been 1 day. Well, this is a pretty interesting setup they've got. Right next to a village. That's kind of going to give you a guaranteed ability to raid them, but I'm pretty sure there are villages from there too. Alright, well I'm going to end this video here. Check in next time for when we actually attack the hideout. See you then.